The part of you that thrives in sex, where a man can show up fully grounded and where you can allow yourself to soften, melt, lean back, and be fully taken without shrinking yourself. That is what we're talking about today. We're talking about how you might have been abandoning yourself, self-abandoning, abandoning your desires, and how that shows up then in love or intimacy, sex, and how to return back to this level of the feminine aliveness, this pulse in your body that feels nourishing, and it's like fuel for your soul. So often what happens, you hold back, and if you have always been in that high achieving mode, it's easy to manage it all, maybe even be easy, come across as really easy, really chill. And maybe you've shaped yourself around what he thinks is like feminine or sexual or desirable. And in the process, you might have abandoned the part of yourself that really hungers this sexual expression, or you to be messy, or this like primal passion to come to life, this real intimacy, this erotic spiritual connection that I believe a lot of us really desire deeply. And I have been there. I lived it. My disconnection, it didn't start in sex, really. It started as a little girl in school, where I learned that my worth lived in my achievements, in being a good girl, in being reliable, in excellence. Excellence became my way of being chosen, of being loved. But that starts to feel empty. So when it start feeling that emptiness, I went then searching for this attention or this need to be loved in men. I searched for their attention, their desire, their approval. And so that's how I started to acknowledge that I was self-abandoning, and it was so subtle. It was almost invisible. And probably why it took me so long to actually notice it and then tend to that part of me with so much love. And at the time, it did look like I was obsessing over what men wanted. My desire was about his desire. I am not opposed to meeting a man's desire, but not when you're abandoning yourself. I was shaping my body, my personality, my softness, even my emotional state, my edginess, all of that to fit into a fantasy version of femininity or beauty standards that I thought would make me worthy. And every time I tried to be that woman, right, I did abandon the woman that I am now, that I've come to really know and love now, the woman that I really was. And I just was searching for her or wanting the validation from others, so then she could have permission, I guess, to come alive. And so maybe you recognize some of this in yourself as well. Maybe you have contained some of your wildness instead of letting yourself be wild, letting yourself be loose and free in your body, connected to your body. And maybe over time you have found yourself numbing your pleasure instead of actually fully feeling it and owning it and not waiting for that sexual moment. Maybe you hide your full body orgasmic potential, the ecstatic orgasm that you can feel, because you don't want to seem too much. But I know you desire more, and I know you want intimacy. I know you want that connection that lights me up, that lights you up. Sex that makes you feel alive, felt, seen, raw, awake, passionate. You want to fully come alive in your body. You don't want to hold it all together all the time, to seem perfect or poised. All these desires that you have, they haven't disappeared. They're just waiting. They're waiting for you to remember them, claim them, and actually let them lead you. I know you're done with self-abandoning because in that you've ended up in sex that has felt a bit empty, relationships where you're attracting people who are not meeting you where you know you deserve to be in your heart, fully seen, safe, surrendered. You are done with self-abandoning because you know that when you're in your feminine spirit, you are going to feel more joy and more relaxed in who you are. The woman who allows herself to be wild and sensual and messy and emotional, sexual, all of it, fully feeling in love with herself, in love with her body, in love with her heart. This is so sexy. And let's bring her back. Let's bring this woman back. But a way that self-abandonment shows up in sex, it sneaks in. It really does. And sometimes we don't even notice it. Even if you're confident, maybe you've been called really sexy or you consider yourself sexy, you can still be self-abandoning through your performance, through your perfection. Maybe you've been trained to make sex all about him. And so you're always making sure that he's enjoying it. And then you hide what you actually want. Maybe you fake your orgasms. I know I did this for many years until I realized, hang on, I'm completely overriding my own pleasure here and what actually feels good for me. When you lose presence like that, it's really hard to come into this state of orgasmic aliveness. And so I was completely obsessed with the idea of how he perceives me instead of me just being in this dance of really allowing myself to fully feel and enjoy myself, all whilst also pleasuring him, right? The thing is, I was making it all about him. So I was so focused on how he perceives me and whether I'm good enough or hot enough or sexy enough for him. It's like a game. It's very performative. And so when this happens, you move into your head. You worry about the outcome. You're missing this deep, passionate, sensual aliveness that can only be felt when you slow down, when you're in this experience of slowness, sensuality, connection, intimacy, really fully breathing together, being present together. Real ecstasy happens when you stop trying to be sexy and just start being you. Wild, messy, moaning, dirty even, animalistic, primal. We never see animals being perfect in their primal expression. And something that I have come to know with men is that the more deeply alive and connected you are with yourself and know how to cultivate that intimacy with yourself, the more he gets turned on. So effortlessly, you do make it about him through your own self-pleasure or through your own enjoyment of your body and pleasure in your body. And another way that self-abandonment might show up, especially when it comes to sex, is that you want to be seen, but you hide. And this again might be really subtle. You crave a man who worships your body, right? Who meets your depth, who can see that innocence of you beneath the armor. But then the moment he sees you, maybe you shut down. Maybe you do this in dating as well. Maybe you numb your pleasure. Maybe you pretend that you don't have needs. And again, maybe you pretend to orgasm, not because you don't want to orgasm or you don't want to feel pleasure, but because being fully felt and seen in that way can be terrifying. It's very vulnerable, it's very exposing. So it might start to feel wrong, or you just find your body tense up a little bit. I know so many women come to me saying, I love my partner, they're in really loving, safe partnerships, but the passion or the spark is gone. And what they don't realize is they're not in a sexless or routine marriage because something is wrong with them. It's because they've disconnected from their own erotic power. They haven't made pleasure a priority, this connection with self, without their partner. And so passion doesn't die because of routine. It dies when a woman forgets who she is, and she forgets that enjoyment, the simple enjoyment, the sensual piece of her, because she's been in performance mode for so long, and that she just abandons a part of her that really feels deeply open, sexual, alive, erotic. So she's successful and admired. Yes, she's running the business, the home, the schedule, a CEO of her business. She's doing it all so flawlessly. But then her sex or her sensuality, that woman inside of her who wants to be so touched, who wants to get so present in her body and move slowly to get so, like she can just be taken, that gets pushed to the bottom of the list. And so this self-abandonment makes you then, or makes this woman go to bed exhausted. Not because she's incapable of passion, but it's just because she's been in doing mode for so long. Remember, we don't thrive in this energy as women. Yes, we get shit done for sure, but we don't thrive here, especially in sex and our relationships. And so what happens is your body then, if you're in that mode, it doesn't remember how to soften, how to open, how to receive him. You go into this like tension, and that's how then you go into sex as well. It's like you forget the woman who really knows how to move slowly, how to feel everything, how to be alive in her hips, how to feel the tingles in her vagina, that feminine fire. It's like, it's not a fire, it's like cold water that's there that we need to create spark, that we need to turn on, ignite. And that is where the spark fades, not because the marriage or the relationship is broken, but because she's forgotten how to feed herself. Again, a high quality man will be really turned on by the woman who nourishes herself, self pleasures, allows herself to feel good in her body. And the moment that you really reconnect with this erotic essence of you, the moment you remember the woman underneath, that high achiever, the woman who's like sexy, naughty, cheeky, emotional, feels a lot, the woman who is also grounded, present, connected to her heart, everything shifts. And he feels this. He feels this kind of radiance in you and this nourishment. He feels it. And then the whole relationship starts to reignite, not through effort, but through her coming home to her body again. And so the more you do this with yourself, the more you will want to get curious with your body, curious in sex, curious in how you want to be touched, or you'll know how you want to be touched, and you won't be afraid to express that either. Because you're not here abandoning your desires. You're not here abandoning your pleasure and where you want to be touched and how you want to be played with. You allow it. And you do that with integrity.
Now, the woman who remembers herself, who knows what she wants, what feels good in her body, what makes her body like tingle and hum and just feel like this vibration of goodness. She doesn't have to control or force anything. She makes it known. And she shows him what that looks like in her joy, in her pleasure, in her voice, and then steps back, lets him show up, lets herself receive. That's a huge one. The more you practice this, the more you will start to see things shift. So why is it easier for us to contain this pleasure than to let it be expressed and to explode? Why do so many women live in their heads instead of their bodies? Why does this self-abandonment happen? Because it's scary, it's vulnerable, it's wild. Feeling too much has always been risky. We've probably all been put down for it. And maybe you've been praised for being that good girl. Maybe that's how you were taught to receive love and attention. And maybe you were shamed or put down for wanting more. All of it is training. It trained you to contain your pleasure and your wildness. Pleasure asks you to get really present, curious, messy, alive. It asks you to love your body. It asks you to hold and channel your sexual energy. It asks you to ground your emotions. It asks you to create and speak from your heart. The more you ignore all of that, the more you are disconnected from your radiance, what makes you irresistible. It disconnects you from your sexual pleasure, from your sensual self, the goddess in you. It makes you forget what we all know intuitively, that your orgasms are revolutionary. They are there as this reminder of your feminine fragrance, your feminine magnetism. It reminds you of your most highest, beautiful, greatest self. And it reminds you, your orgasms, I'm free. I know what it means to be free. I'm so loved. I'm so erotic. I'm so wild. I'm so whole. I'm abundant. They remind us of this. So if you're sitting here with the thought of, can I really get there again? Can I really feel like that? Can I really allow for this ecstatic, whole body orgasmic state to rise through my body where I feel completely free? The answer is yes. Fuck yes, you can. And the truth is, you don't have to figure it out in your mind. That's not where this happens. Your body already knows the way back, so you need to be in a space where you can really get connected to your body, where you can learn how to really connect with your vagina on a really beautiful, grounding way, where you can learn how to sense your sensations, start playing with your sensuality again, where you start to feel the pulse of aliveness inside of you that guides you back home, that allows you to say, oh, I remember who I was. It feels so good to be here. It feels so safe to be here. I love being here. I love expressing my truth through my heart, through my body. And it can be easy as well. It's about practice and letting yourself feel all those desires that maybe you've ignored, and just allowing yourself to get to explore your body, explore with your touch, explore with your breath, explore by moving your hips. It's playing with your body, moving to your own rhythm, stretching your body, seeing how that feels. It's exploring what it feels like to moan, to shake your hips, to really explore and touch your whole body, especially the parts of you that have felt so much taboo and shame, and doing that with so much sovereignty and love. and tenderness. Coming back to the parts of you that really want to just let go. Even if it's as simple as taking that deep breath and really letting go with that long exhale. Your electricity can come back. Allow yourself to just become free. So it's like you're just ripping those chains off your body and just, getting wild again. Reconnecting that with that primal essence of you. This is how we can start to come back to the body, to our spirit, to our sex. It's all practice, coming home back to your truth through your pleasure. And you know this is what I'm all about. Beneath the control, beneath the perfection and the pleasing constantly is the woman right here who wants to feel more, who wants to be more sensual, feminine, desired, alive, electric, orgasmic, erotic, emotional, loving, connected with the earth to her truth. There is a woman inside of you. This is all of you. She never left. She's right here. She's just being quiet. She's waiting for you to say, you know what? I'm ready for this. I'm ready to make this a priority in my life because I know how it's going to really not only make me feel so amazing in my body and my womanhood, but also it's going to just upgrade my relationship because I know there is a part of you, a deep part of you who really wants to be seen and let go and just be felt, unleashed. I think that's the right word, unleashed, because you're tired. You're tired of self-abandoning. You're tired of self-sacrificing. But that isn't you. It's not who you are. It's a pattern. Remember that. It's just a pattern. And patterns can always be unlearned. You deserve a relationship that feels safe and full of passion. You deserve sex where you feel fully seen and where your pleasure matters, where you can take your time and really taste your orgasms. You deserve a life where your body leads you home. You deserve to feel ecstatic, and you were never here to just experience half love, half pleasure, half of your orgasms, half beauty. You were meant to be here fully and deeply and unapologetically expressed and feel safe while doing that. So my love, if this is really landing with you, if you feel like your chest is softening here, if you feel that ache or that tingle even in your G-spot, like, yes, this is so for me. You know, this is what I do every day, all day with my clients. This is exactly what we do. I help you remember what that pleasurable, wild, safe woman feels like again. And watch your sex become alive. Watch your relationship just flourish and be full of passion again. But you have to be willing to say, yes, I'm ready to let go and step into this unknown field of love and beauty of the feminine, because that's where I thrive the most. So if that feels like a yes for you, reach out to me, DM me. I'll drop the links below so you can see my offerings. Make sure to check out my free program, Erotic Feminine Embodiment. Drop the links below. Let me know what landed. Of course, if you liked this, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Jessica Angileri. Thank you so much, beautiful. Bye.